One of the numerous dangers of speaking out for the rights of others is the retaliation of your opposition. But are you willing to die just to help others? Walter P. Reuther was one of these brave men who may have paid the ultimate price for standing up for what he believed in. Born in Wheeling, West Virginia, to a family of German immigrants, Walter was taught the value of hard work and faith. His mother and father struggled to provide for him and his siblings due to poor union policies his father was forced to work under. Walter and his brothers were athletes during their teens, but their father, Valentine, placed a higher value on education. Learning from his father's experience with unions, Walter felt the need to facilitate change. He began to speak out for the rights of others within unions and social rights groups. Eventually, he became the president of the United Automobile Workers Union, or UAW, and began fighting harder for workers' labor rights. He was not afraid to stand up to big companies whose working conditions were horrible and hours were long and strenuous, like the Henry Ford's company at the time. Over the course of years, his outspoken nature created a long list of enemies. He suffered through a beating by the thugs of Henry Ford. In 1938, a man broke into Reuther's apartment in an attempt to kidnap and murder him. In this case, the criminal was fought off, and Walter was not severely injured. 10 years later, a shotgun blast through his kitchen window nearly severed his arm. Even though the shooting nearly killed Reuther, the case was never solved. Almost a year after the attack, Reuther's brother Victor suffered a severe eye injury from another shooting. Walter believed the attack on his family served as a reminder that no matter where he went, his enemies would always follow. These futile attempts did not stop his voice, and he continued his fight for change by speaking before Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the March on Washington in 1963. 7 short years later, Walter Reuther and his wife May were killed when their small charter plane crashed into a tree on May 9, 1970 at 9:28 p.m. After some investigation, the crash was officially ruled an accident due to pilot error. However, the facts do not add up for some people to believe it was truly an accident. The pilot's altimeter, which dysfunctioned during the flight, was replaced earlier in the year and was improperly reinstalled, and parts were missing. Furthermore, the crash happened on his planned trip to the UAW's Education and Recreation Facility near Pellston, Michigan. The pilot had over 2,000 flying hours with this type of aircraft and a total of 7,760 total flying hours. Also, none of the crew or the 3 other passengers had a criminal history. Taking all of this into consideration, many are not satisfied with the official reports. Yet the time for further investigation has seemed to pass. All in all, it's not the fact that Walter P. Reuther fought for the rights of millions of people, or whether his death was an accident or an assassination. It was the fact that he was willing to risk his life every time he spoke up for the rights of others.